Joe Goldberg is hot, horrifying, and somehow my favorite fictional unaliver. So today I'm going to be ranking every version of Joe from the books and the Netflix show, from the least to the one I'm most obsessed with. And stick around till the end because I'm going to give you a recommendation of something you can watch that's perfect for Joe Goldberg fans. Also, don't forget to comment with your own rankings in the comments. So let's do it. Starting at number 7 is Book Joe Goldberg from Hidden Bodies. This is the second book we get with Joe Goldberg as a main character, and it lands firmly at the bottom for me. I don't know how a serial unaliver can get boring, but honestly, this version of Joe just felt really dull. It was weirdly predictable. Gone was that clever, bookish character and all of the things that made him so addictive, and instead he's just wandering around LA, losing that moody literary vibe that I really love. All those twisted bookstore moments. The LA setting, I feel, really stripped away everything that made Joe unique. His narration was still sharp, but it just doesn't hit the same in the second book. There is no real depth or tension. The pacing also felt a little bit rushed, and I actually found myself skimming some of the pages, which never happened in the first book. So when Joe isn't fun to psychoanalyze, in my opinion, you know that something is off. So I'm really sorry for this one, but Book Joe from Hidden Bodies I would happily leave behind on a shelf. Also, by the way, if you want to read my full review on Hidden Bodies, I will have that linked down below so you can check it out. Now at number 6, we're getting into TV show versions of Joe, and this is season 3 Joe. This is the suburban dad Joe with a baby and a white picket fence, which honestly, what a snooze. Joe living in Medellin, California, it is just comedy and tragedy rolled into one. He is reading to baby Henry in the library, he's trying to manifest all the good dad energy, but then he's literally also dragging bodies into the woods behind his white picket fence house. It is a little bit unhinged, and I did like it in some ways. The couple's therapy sessions with Love were so much fun. You can practically see him calculating how honest he can be without exposing his extracurricular activities. The tension, it was really thick. You could cut it with a kitchen knife, which, I mean, in this show, someone probably does. And every time that he tries to act like just another suburban dad, the mask slips. He wants to be better, but he's still making the same old Joe choices. He is paranoid, he is restless. Now, the dynamic with Love was more chaotic, I think, than fun. Plus, I really didn't love the soulmate next door plotline. I definitely wanted unhinged City Joe back. And in my opinion, Love was the Joe in this season. She was the unhinged one, and I was missing that from Joe. Now, at number 5, it's another TV show. It's season 4, London Joe. Now, season 4 Joe is rocking that Tweety professor vibe in London. I really loved when he was sizing up Kate's entire friend group and just muttering, "Let the games begin. Which one of these people will I hate the most?" It is peak Joe's cynicism, but honestly, this season, he just felt more lost than ever. I feel he was trying so hard. You get those scenes where he's obsessed with Riz Montrose after reading his memoir, totally projecting his own baggage onto him. Then there's the whole eat the rich killer plot, which Joe is really scrambling to keep up, and watching him trying to fit in with the hyper elite London crowd was sometimes hilarious, but sometimes a little bit sad as well. It is still Joe, but it's definitely Joe not in control. So I think that this season was a lot. It's a little bit more psychological breakdown than twisted romance storyline, which was interesting, but not my favorite version to watch. Now coming in at number 4, it's season 5 Joe. This is Joe, final boss era, the season finale. And in this one, Joe is actually rich, powerful, untouchable. And in a way, he has everything he's ever wanted. He has a family, he's married to a successful wife, he has his kid with him, he's back in New York as Joe Goldberg. But then he decides that he's going to fully embrace his dark side. No more pretending that he's a victim. No more I'm trying to be good. It's just, honestly, I feel like it was scary to see how self-aware he was in that season. I was kind of obsessed with that evolution and seeing him really connect with that. I will say though, there were definitely times where he could have off Bronte and didn't, so I don't think he was fully gone off the deep end, and maybe we could have gotten another season out of this show, but I am fine that it went out on a high. Now for number 3, so now we're getting to my top 3 versions of Joe. This is another TV show Joe, and it's season 2 LA Joe. This is pure fish out of water. He is constantly roasting LA culture, and it's just hilarious watching him trying to blend in with the green juice crowd. The scenes in his storage unit are classic. He's got all of his secrets stashed away, but I think that the best twist here is when Love turns out to be just as dangerous and unhinged as Joe. The look on his face when he realizes that he's met his match was just chef's kiss. This season, Joe's not just the hunter, he's also the hunted, and it's so fun to watch him squirm. This was Joe thinking that he can change, which is adorable and totally delusional. It was still creepy, but fun creepy, which I know seems weird for me to have put this as number 3 when Hidden Bodies, which is like the book that this was based on, is the very last of this list. I think that all comes back to execution. I think they did it so much better in the show than in the book. For my number 2 spot, we have TV Joe again, and it's season 1 Joe. Now, season 1 Joe is where it all started, right? At least for TV audiences. He is creepy, charming, just self-aware enough to make you question your own taste for sure. The glass box scenes with Beck are unforgettable. Joe pleading with her, "Do you understand why I had to do this?" while she is trapped, and it's just vulnerable, but also horrifying, of course. His surveillance game in this one is just next level, stealing Beck's phone, breaking into her apartment, narrating every move with with that soothing and totally unsettling voiceover I absolutely love. And of course, who can forget the trophy box moment? Beck discovering her underwear and Benji's teeth, just nightmare fuel. But with this one, Joe's inner monologue justifying every move is what makes him, I think, so compelling. He is just the OG, clever, absolutely terrifying, and honestly, in particular, Penn Badgley is just Joe. I don't think anyone could have made a stalker feel this romantic. In season 1, you kind of root for him. You may hate yourself for it, but you do. It's just the most faithful to the book while still being totally binge-worthy. But also, this is the version of Joe that I think is the most book boyfriend material. And then finally, in my number 1 spot is Book Joe from the book You, which is the original Joe. And honestly, delving into his psyche was like rubbernecking a car crash. You are horrified, but you just can't look away. From the very first chapter, Joe Goldberg is not right in the head, you know that. And the book doesn't let you forget it either for a second. His obsession with Beck kicks off the moment that she walks into his New York City bookstore, and the way that he worms his way into her life using something as simple as a credit card. It was seriously, why do people overshare so much online? It was so simple for him to get information, which made it all the more chilling because it felt so real. Now, I think what makes this version of Joe stand out is how the story is told. It's not just a thriller, it's like reading Joe's private diary, his own twisted book of Beck. You are trapped in his mind, you are seeing every event through his warped lens, and it's both fascinating and deeply disturbing at the same time. I remember I was listening to the audiobook and I was getting full body chills before I was even 10% in, which I do highly recommend the audiobooks for both of the books. In this one, the creep factor is off the charts, and the way that Joe justifies every step of his obsession is almost scarier than the actual stalking, in my opinion. There's this perfect quote that really sums up his mindset, and it says, "The only thing crueler than a cage so small that a bird can't fly is a cage so large that a bird thinks it can fly." And I think that that is Joe to a T. He is trapped in his own delusions, and you are stuck in there with him. Honestly, by the end, I was just hoping for some kind of a wild twist or something that would make it a little bit less predictable. But even with a predictable ending, I immediately wanted to know more about Joe. I wanted to pick up a sequel, and I just wanted to see what this creeper extraordinaire would do next. So I think if you want a book that will leave you side-eyeing every stranger at the pool, You is it. Just maybe don't read it alone at night, and definitely tighten your social media game and all of your privacy settings. Now, that is my ranking of Joe Goldberg's, but like I promised you, I have a bonus recommendation that is perfect if Joe Goldberg has you in your toxic fictional man chokehold, and for that you need to meet Paul Spector from the BBC show The Fall. It has the same creepy charm, but it's scarier because he's so calm, calculated, completely unbothered. So by day, Paul is a family man, he's a grief counselor, and he's a sensitive listener, but by night he is a literal serial unaliver. Sound familiar? But unlike Joe, Paul doesn't need any romantic excuses, he's just, well, evil. Jamie Dornan plays him so well, it is unsettling. I absolutely love the performance, and it also has this cat and mouse game with Detective Stella Gibson, which is played by Gillian Anderson from The X-Files. Adore her, she was so good in this one. The series is next level addictive. It's all on Netflix, and if you really like morally gray stories, I think The Fall should be your next binge. So let me know in the comments down below, do you agree with me? Am I completely off base? Drop all of your Joe rankings in the comments, and if you want even more ranking videos, check out my favorite characters from the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, paranormal romance, vampires, and just oh so good. I will leave that linked here. I will also leave links to both of my reviews from this series in the description box down below so you can check them out. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more questionable boyfriend content and book recommendations. But for now, that's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!